Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale has been extended. Right now, save up to $500 on our top-rated brands when you get a king bed for the price of a queen or a queen for a twin. Plus, get a free adjustable base when you spend $6.99 on Sealy. Hurry into Mattress Firm.
Another day, another chance. It could be the day you break the sales record, or the day there's appointments nonstop. With Comcast Business, you get the network that can deliver gig speeds to the most businesses, and you can get the advanced cybersecurity solutions you need with Comcast Business Security Edge. Every day in business is a big day. We'll keep you ready for what's next.
Get started with a great offer and ask how you can add Comcast Business Security Edge. Plus, for a limited time, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card when you upgrade. Call today.
We can fly where you want to. We can leave your house behind. But if your friends don't mask, and why don't they mask? Well, they won't fly this airline.
You can fly if you want to, because we do safety right. We have air that's clean and disinfectant machines zapping germs like an arcade space bike. And we dance to the dance, to the dance. Have the filters cleaning commence.
That's a good ad for Alaska
Right
Airlines.
now, things are changing at a rapid pace. Your marketing should too, and Fox 12 can help. Your business will grow with television and digital advertising.
We have the best, most innovative marketing tools to get you in front of the right people.
Product placement,
A full suite of digital products
state-of-the-art commercial production.
and research tools you need to target your ads to the right people.
There's never been a better time for you to advertise with Fox 12.
Call us or visit Fox 12's marketing site, meredithportland.com.
Better sleep means a better you. With Mattress Firm's Rest Assured promise, you can try America's best mattress brands and save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets and get a $300 instant gift good towards sleep accessories. Shop today, only at Mattress Firm.
See local stories you won't find anywhere else. Watch the 4 o'clock news on Fox 12.
The world around us is changing every second. Stay informed wherever you are with the Fox 12 app. Live stream breaking news as it happens. Download the Fox 12 app.
Frozen, yet a Coke. Not a solid, but not a liquid. They're a paradox of deliciousness.
Hit refresh with a new frozen drink or Minute Maid slushie. Get a small for just $1.55.
Guess what? I have some news for you. There's free food right there. Junk food. You see that truck? It's a 2 Michelin star chef. All for free, ladies and gentlemen. All for free. Here we have a panzanella with summer vegetables and pesto. Enjoy. How we doing? Fantastic. So what do you got going on underneath that plate there?
This food is really about to be thrown away.
Yeah.
Is there something wrong with this food? Where did you get it
From farmers markets. They put aside the ugly vegetables and the ugly fruits.
Carrot top, soft avocados. It was all food that was going to be discarded.
Even the drink you had is made from like a little bruised peach. Did it taste a little bruised?
Great. It was good.
The average person throws away 24 pounds of food a month.
A lot.
Not a lot. Go visit SaveTheFood.com for more information. Thank you. Taco time.
You got her?
I got it.
I'm getting us McDonald's.
Now it's buy one, get one for $1. Mix and match 2 favorites and make one perfect breakfast.
Welcome back to the PGE Fall Starlight Parade. Now, more of the Let's Light It Up section. Brought to you by Oregon 811. Let's light the way.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Starlight Parade. I'm Shauna Parsons along with Wayne Garcia. Boy, what a night.
This is the Westland Old Time Beer Float. Joyfully representing Westland and its ongoing tradition of the Old Time Fair community events all year long. The float for the Westland Old Time Fair is carrying women representing their hometown of Westland, Oregon. Riding tonight is Queen Sarah and ambassadors Avery, Bella, Noah, and Isabella. Recently, they collected hundreds of stuffed animals for first responders for the Oregon City Teddy Bear Parade. They'll soon be helping out at other special events around the community through the annual West Lynn Old Time Fair, which is held July 19th through the 21st.
Well, let's greet Portland Saturday Market, an attraction filled with the colors and flavors of more than 300 artisans of all ages. This year, Portland Saturday Market is celebrating 46 years of handcrafted goods. And Portland Saturday Market
Hello.
provides an array of quality arts and crafts, baked goods, food vendors, and their international food court. It is such a fun thing to do, rain or shine. Sunday for shopping and just plain fun from March through Christmas Eve.
We've come to our last band of the night, and what a way to end it. This is Cleveland High School's marching band, marching 130 strong tonight. The Warriors took home third in their division in the 2018 Starlight Parade. Last year, the band marched down Main Street at Disneyland and are planning another trip in 2020 as well. Their Wind Symphony has performed at the State Band Championships now for 6 years in a row. They are a good one. This is the Cleveland High School Marching Band coming your way right now. We're going to take a listen.
There was no parade tonight. This is from 2 years ago. The parades were canceled the last 2 years because of the pandemic.
Now let's greet the Portland Metro Benevolent Protective Order of Elks Lodges as they celebrate another year of living and growing. Tonight, the 7 lodges in the metro area are celebrating the new construction of the Oregon Elks Children's Eye Clinic. Across the country, the Elks give more than $200 million annually, serving as one of the largest private college scholarship providers in the nation. Visit the Elks Lodge near you to join in on the fun. And learn more at elks.org. And that's right, I said $200 million every year that they give away. So a lot of really great work they do.
This is the X-Ray FM float. Give a big cheer and listen online and on the airwaves at 91.1 and 107.1 or 99.9 in Vancouver. They are an independent radio station located in the Falcon Art community right in the heart of North Portland. They feature talk from 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. with music programming and after for every Portlander and beyond. Just this year, they launched the podcast network as well. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Now let's welcome back the Oregon Falun Dafa Association. Falun Dafa is a traditional cultivation practice for both body and mind, based on the universal principles of truthfulness, compassion, and tolerance. On the float, you see practitioners in traditional costumes demonstrating standing exercises and sitting meditation, suitable for all ages, and it's transcended the boundaries of nationality, religion, race, and beyond. All activities are organized by volunteers, and the materials are available for free. Everyone's welcome to join the practice at local sites. You can go to falundafa.org for more information.
Well, you always know when you see the police arrive that we're getting close to the end of another. Of another Starlight Parade. But it's been a really great time out here tonight. I think people have had a wonderful time as well this evening.
It's just been so fun. It's such a great Portland tradition. And we just enjoy being a part of it every year, don't we, Wayne?
I'm not going to call it good, though, until I see Larry the Light Bulb. He's got to be around here somewhere. But see if we can find him out there somewhere. But you know what? Even though this parade is starting to end, the week is just beginning. Portland Rose Festival kicking into high gear. You know, Wednesday we've got the Junior Parade, which we will carry here on Foxwell Plus as well. And then the big Grand Floral Parade, which takes place a week from tonight on Saturday. It starts at 10 o'clock for coverage of the parade itself, but I would say watch a little bit earlier because that is when they're going to crown the Queen on Fox 12 on Saturday morning. It's always a fun event.
So exciting. And as you say, it's like the granddaddy of the parades and kind of wraps up the parade season here in the Rose Festival. Always a wonderful tradition. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It's so much fun for us to be able to bring the Starlight Parade to you at home.
Have a good night.
That was from 2 years ago. There is no parade next Saturday or Wednesday. Hello. Maybe we will listen to Rabbi Brian's 8 a.m. that I missed. Well, why is Fox 12 on Channel 13 on cable anyway? That makes no sense. What's on Channel 12? Fox 12. So 12 is Fox 12, but they were showing the parade on 13? That makes KPTV, KPDX. What? PDX TV? So they were showing the Fox 12 feed on...
ready for some science?
Alright, I don't know. They were showing... That ad is good. The Alaska Airlines ad with the masks. Why did that... Wait a second. If the parade... What was that an ad for something? Let me see. Or is it just the...
Who's ready for some science? Rock, paper, scissors, let's go. Rock, paper, scissors, let's go.
Is that just an ad for a show?
Sticky wicket, sticky wicket, sticky wicket.
That was beautiful. 7 nights a week on Fox 12 Plus.
So what? This is Fox 12 Plus? I don't know what channel. I don't know what channel it is. I never watch it, but okay.
You can fly if you want to, because we do.
That Alaska Airlines ad is good.
For up-to-the-minute details on the coronavirus pandemic, watch the 4 o'clock news on Fox 12.
I'll give you a detail. The coronavirus pandemic fucking sucks. Alright. Wolfo says, I was supposed to go to bed a minute ago, but I heard that, and that is not appropriate language on your broadcast. Sorry, Wolfo. Good night. Alright. Let me see if... Let me find... I need to get up from this chair and get some food, but let me find the feed from... Facebook. FACE. $14 hours ago. Yesterday. Alright, fine. What was he doing yesterday? The meditation? Let's check it out. Where's the unmute button?
153. We're off by 2 seconds today. But that's cool. Which camera am I on? I'm on this camera. Hi. Glad you're here. It's meditation time.
Yeah, we're not doing meditation time. We're just seeing what you're doing for the 1 minute and 32 seconds before
These
you
introductions are kind of goofy.
have meditation time.
But you know what? Life is kind of goofy. And the fact that I don't know if Goofy was a cow or a dog, that's kind of goofy too.
Is Goofy
Let's meditate on that.
a cow or a dog? What?
I'm going to be meditating today on a chair. And you should feel comfortable to meditate any way you like. For years I did my meditations laying down. But I think the video of that, I don't think anyone would want. That would be silly. I don't know how long I've been doing these meditations online with you. Feels like a year. Maybe a year. More. 5 times a week, 52 weeks, 20 minutes at a time. It's a lot. Anyway, we're going to start sitting together in 20 seconds. I don't know what this button does. Oh, look at that. It's called preview mode. Here we go. We're going to start. We're started.
All right, let's try this one.
This is me live here. The rest. This is me live here. The rest is a recording.
Oh, that's cheese. Oh, that's even more cheese.
Very catchy tune. Thank you. Trying to make this look good here.
Very jazzy.
Well, welcome to the Saturday service. This is season 2, episode 5, otherwise known as the 57th week we are doing this. I'm Rabbi Brian, and I'm here with my friends on Zoom. Hold on one second. Friends on Zoom, say hi to the other people. And you can say hi with no echo today.
Hi. No.
Hi.
All right, well, there we are. This is an interactive type of service, and we're going to start straight off with a quote that I sent out ahead of time for us to look at, and it looks like this. When you plant lettuce, if it does not grow well, you don't blame the lettuce. You look for reasons it is not growing well. It may need more fertilizer, more water, or less sun. You never blame the lettuce. All right, now, Bob, you sent me an email ahead of time saying, Rabbi, I'm afraid I won't be able to participate today because I don't know anything about growing lettuce. Bob, are you going to acknowledge that? Yes.
That's
Say that
funny.
again, Hannah.
I said, who doesn't know anything about growing lettuce?
Well, Bob is about to learn that this is not actually about growing lettuce. If any of you thought this was only about growing lettuce. And the quote that Thich Nhat Hanh said, well, let's start with the part that we have there, because it's a much longer quote than just that. He said, when you plant lettuce, if it does not grow well, you don't. If it's not doing well, it may need fertilizer, more water, or less sun. You never blame the lettuce. All right, so let's just take this on a straight level first. I have a garden going here. Guess what? We started from seeds, tomatoes, lettuce, and something else, tomato and snap peas. We started from seeds. Guess which one of the 3 did not grow at all?
The lettuce.
Lettuce. It was the lettuce. Apparently, my garden had read the Thich Nhat Hanh quote. The lettuce did not grow at all. Whose fault is that? The lettuce's or mine?
Obvious.
Bad luck.
Why
That
is
was
there an
bad lettuce.
echo?
That's exactly what I was going for, Al. Now, Thich Nhat Hanh's quote actually goes a little bit longer, and he says this after the first.
That's not what I'm looking at.
With our friends. or family. We blame the other person. But if we know, okay, wait, let's just stop there. Yet if we have
This is really annoying. Yeah, of course you're having trouble playing the video. Hold on a second. Okay, I'll mute it until I fix the sound.
This is me. All right, well, there we are. This is an interactive type of service, and we're going to start straight off with a quote that I sent out ahead of time for us to look at, and it looks like this. When you plant lettuce, if it does not grow well, you don't blame the lettuce. You look for reasons it is not growing well. It may need more fertilizer, more water, or less sun. You never blame the lettuce.
All right, I have to put the sound on the phone to stop the feedback. But why, if the mics are both off, do I still hear myself? All right. And Wolf said stop yelling, he's trying to sleep. Okay, that's the sound from the phone. That's the sound from the computer. I have to hang up the phone.
This is me live here. The rest is a recording.
Oh, that's easy. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Very fancy too. Thank you. Trying to make this look good here. Very jazzy. Well, welcome to the Saturday service. This is season 2, episode 5, otherwise known as the 57th week we are doing this. I'm Rabbi Brian, and I'm here with my friends on Zoom. Hold on one second. Friends on Zoom, say hi to the other people. And you can say hi with no echo today. Hi.
Hi.
All right, well, there we are. This is an interactive type of service, and we're going to start straight off with a quote that I sent out ahead of time for us to look at, and it looks like this. When you plant lettuce, if it does not grow well, you don't blame the lettuce. You look for reasons it is not growing well. It may need more fertilizer, more water, or less sun. You never blame the lettuce. All right, now, Bob, you sent me an email ahead of time saying, Rabbi, I'm afraid I won't be able to participate today because I don't know anything about growing lettuce. Bob, are you going to acknowledge that? Yes. Say that again, Hannah?
I said, who doesn't know anything about growing lettuce?
Well, Bob is about to learn that this is not actually about growing lettuce, if any of you thought this was only about growing lettuce. And the quote that Thich Nhat Hanh said, well, let's start with the part that we have there, because it's a much longer quote than just that. He said, when you plant lettuce, if it does not grow well, you don't blame the lettuce. You look for reasons it is not doing well. It may need fertilizer, more water, or less sun. You never blame the lettuce. All right, so let's just take this at a straight level first. I have a garden going here. Guess what? We started from seeds. Tomatoes, lettuce, and something else. Tomato and snap peas. We started from seeds. Guess which one of the 3 did not grow at all?
The lettuce.
Lettuce. It was the lettuce. apparently my garden had read the Thich Nhat Hanh quote. The lettuce did not grow at all. Whose fault is that?
Your fault.
Lettuces or mine?
Obvious.
Bad lettuce. It was bad lettuce. That's exactly what I was going for, Al. Now, Thich Nhat Hanh's quote actually goes a little bit longer, and he says this after the first part. He says, "Yet if we have problems with our friends or family, we blame the other person. But if we know, okay, wait, let's just stop there. Yet if we have problems with our friends or family, we blame the other person." Show of hands, how many of us have a tendency, something doesn't go well, yes, Meg's raising her hand already. Is that, who else has got this issue where something goes wrong and we blame the other person or the outside circumstance? Okay, that should be just about everyone. Yeah, that's just about all of us. And let me get back to the quote. He says, "Yet if we have problems with our friends or family, we blame the other person. But if we know how to take care of them, they will grow well like lettuce. Blaming has no positive effect at all, nor does trying to persuade using reason and argument." All right. Anyone ever try to persuade someone when they have a problem? You try to persuade the other person out of the problem? And just show of hands, keep your hands up if that worked. No, doesn't. Okay. Simon says put your hands down. Good. No. Yet if we have problems with our friends or family, we blame the other person. But if we know how to take care of them, they will grow well like lettuce. Blaming has no positive effect at all, nor does trying to persuade using reason and argument. That is my experience. No blame, no reasoning, no argument, just understanding. If you understand and can show that you understand, you can love, and the situation will change. If we have problems with our friends, go ahead, say it again.
No, I mean, it's deep. I mean, he's one of the deepest, most accessible Buddhist masters.
Yeah.
He gets right down to it. You know, that's the whole thing. So, you know, I know Bob, I think Bob was joking with you when he said he's not a gardener.
Yes.
Obviously. So
we're looking at...
The metaphor is profound.
We're looking at...
I have two things. Can I say just...
Yeah, I'd love to hear your two things. Go for it.
Two things, rather than analyzing it, because as you read it, you know, it moved me to analyze the emphasis on personal agency.
They're still an echo.
In this personal agency, and also the idea of if you know how to take care, means that if, that's the big if.
If you know how to take care, so there's an implication here that if you know how to do things right, then what?
No, but if, this is why we're here, is because of the if. Maybe religion has something to teach us about how to get into the if zone.
So what is the if? Wait, Michael, I got to make sure we all understand the base level of it. What is the if we're talking about here?
The if is, are we in touch with our feelings enough to even be open to theology?
Okay, now that's a lot of big words. How about just, are we open to not blaming others?
Well, but blaming others is, you all know as well as I do, I mean, that's a psychological problem. And I think that's the platform that you're speaking from, personally.
So let's hear from some other people. Michael, I think you're absolutely on point here. Yet if we have problems with our friends or family, we blame the other person. But if we know how to take care of them, they will grow well like lettuce. This is an ugly quote. What's it saying? It's saying any problems we have with other people are whose fault?
Their fault.
Who wishes they didn't have to know this was true? Right? This is awful. How dare I bring this?
I would like to point out that this is also a large part of the basis for racism and bigotry against the oppressed.
Is that Gordon?
Say a little bit more. That we get bigotry and racism. How? How does that have to do with blame?
When people are oppressed, we tend to blame them for this year.
It's not Gordon.
For instance, last Calvinist says that God will reward those who are just. Therefore, you are holy.
But therefore, if people aren't doing well, it's on them.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And we're going to say that is exactly not right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. But it's systemic racism. Blaming the target of systemic racism for the condition they are in.
I hear you, Ron. Let me get back to I'm not talking about racism here. I'm talking about everything that goes wrong in your life today. Everything that goes wrong in your life is whose fault?
My sisters.
It's all who said mine. Okay, it's all Rita's fault. Thank you, Rita, for volunteering that. I feel a little bit better. Bob, you have a comment or question? Go for it.
Yeah, I think that we tend to think that we have all the answers and that everything ought to go according to the way that we want it to go. And when it doesn't happen, then what we have is a tendency to blame others for the fact that it didn't happen. And it was only that it didn't happen according to the way that we thought it ought to go.
Right. I knew you knew it wasn't about lettuce, Bob.
What do you mean it's not about lettuce?
When we have problems, we blame others. I think we could end our whole service here. That's enough for today. All right, good night. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Enjoy the bar mitzvah. Thank you. Anybody who we haven't heard from, what does this quote mean to you? When you plant lettuce, if it doesn't grow well, you don't blame the lettuce. And if we have problems with our friends or family, we blame them instead of putting the blame where it should be.
On our parents.
Go Kip, and then Al, then Kip. Go for it.
Well, I think we're probably on the same line because friends and family are thinking sentient human beings, unlike a lettuce. So I think the aspect of blame is kind of not feeling great.
Whoa, what? Stop. Okay, wait a minute.
Blame, even to claim ownership of blame. Now, if you're disappointed, if you're hurt, well, even then, I can't say that. I mean, even I think
and then Al, and if enjoy the bar mitzvah. Thank you. Anybody who we haven't heard from, what does this quote mean to you? When you plant lettuce, if it doesn't grow well, you don't blame the lettuce. And if we have problems with our friends or family, we blame them instead of putting the blame where it should be. Go Kip, and then Al, then Kip. Go for it.
Well, I think we're probably on the same line because friends and family are thinking sentient human beings, unlike a lettuce. So I think the aspect of blame is kind of not feeling great. To have it in there at all.
To use the word blame?
To use the word blame. To even to claim ownership of the blame. Now, if you're disappointed, if you're hurt, well, even then, I can't say that. I mean, we've all been in relationships with family members that have done really horrible things. And, well, maybe not all of us, but a lot of us have. And that hurts. And I don't know that blame is the right word on either part, but it feels like blaming yourself because your lettuce didn't grow right when you've got situations in your family doesn't feel reasonable either.
Yeah. Okay. This might be, we might be pushing it a little bit too far in this quote, but it's opening our eyes to something that we might not want to have seen. Al, and then Wendy and Ann.
Yeah, I just wanted to challenge, we did the whole raise our hand if blaming other people worked for us.
Yeah.
How about we all raise our hand if blaming ourselves worked for us, made the relationship magically better?
All right, show of hands, how many people have found blaming yourself works?
Yeah, that doesn't work either.
No.
Okay, very few people. Thank you, Al. Wendy, what say you?
So I'm just remembering our conversation that we used to have about mistakes.
Yeah.
This kind of reminds me of the same thing, which is blaming myself where I tend to go towards. But a lot of times there's just not blame. Just like, do you know you make a mistake when you do it? No, you know afterwards.
Right.
I don't see blame being helpful.
Blame is not helpful. Ann, what do you got?
The reason we don't blame the lettuce is because we know that there are other forces involved. There's soil and the sun and the water. So we think of it as it's us and them. Never think of there are external circumstances, other things.
So what do we do with the blame then?
Let it go.
Let it go.
You have to stand outside of yourself to see the bigger picture.
That's not that easy to do. Hugh, what do you say?
I'm thinking of the trouble I have with the word blame as well. There's times when we need to find the cause of that which is wrong, and sometimes the cause of that which is not life-giving lies outside of us, and sometimes it lies inside of us.
Okay.
So I think of I kind of don't even like the word blame because of the negative connotations, but when I think of finding the cause of something, then that moves me from a place of judgment, i.e. blame, to a place of compassion. Compassion as in understanding in an open heart kind of way. That's a different spirit of approaching something that needs healing or needs restoration in a non-judgmental kind of way. Those are some things that come to my mind.
I like it. So blame, compassion. Compassion is never wrong. Let me say that again. Compassion is never wrong. Blame might or might not be, but compassion is never wrong. Michael, what do you say, bud? You got to unmute yourself, please.
Gotcha. Yeah. Blame separates us, and understanding brings us together.
Amen. Say that again, would you?
Blame separates us, so it makes us and them. Which space, take it off. Obviously, physical is the distance between us and them, or the us and the problem, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But understanding brings us together. Makes us see that we're always together.
Understanding, compassion, forgiveness. Yeah, good. Yeah, Ricky, Shmuley. Let's go with Shmuley. Go for it, buddy.
Thank you. Well, one thing that happens to me is that I would try to be nice to others, but then self-loathing. I mean, I wasn't compassionate to myself. And I remember a conversation that we had that you ended up saying, telling me you're okay, and then the other time you said you don't think that you're okay. But anyways, one thing that I've learned is that when I have those feelings, because they come and go, is that I just sit down and take a look at them and say, oh, there you go again. And then I just let it go.
Okay, I have to go back a little because that didn't work. I couldn't hear what he was saying.
Together.
What do you say? But again,
healing or compassion, because of the negative connotations, giving lies outside of us, and sometimes it lies inside of us.
Okay.
So cause.
Okay. Oh.
You have to stand. There are other things. There's
not helpful.
Just like reminds me of the same thing.
Thank you, Al. When
be better. It's a challenge, like, we did the whole raise our hand if blaming other.
In this, your lettuce didn't grow right when you've got situations that hurts, and I can't say that. I mean, even I think the aspect of blame,
and then out. And if we have problems with our friends or family, we blame them instead of putting the blame where it should be. Go Kip, and then Al, then Kip. Go for it. Well, our friends are. Thank you. Others. Right. I knew you knew it wasn't about lettuce, Bob. Yet if we have problems, we blame others. I think we could end our whole service here. That's enough for today. All right, good night. Goodbye.
Enjoy the bar mitzvah.
Thank you. Anybody who we haven't heard from, what does this quote mean to you? When you plant lettuce, if it doesn't grow well, you don't blame the lettuce. And if we have problems with our friends or family, we blame them instead of putting the blame where it should be. Go Kip, and then Al, then Kip. Go for it.
Well, I think we're probably on the same line because friends and family are thinking sentient human beings, unlike a lettuce. So I think the aspect of blame is kind of not feeling great, to have it in there at all. To use the word blame? To use the word blame, to even to claim ownership of the blame. Now, if you're disappointed, if you're hurt, well, even then, I can't say that. I mean, we've all been in relationships with family members that have done really horrible things. And, well, maybe not all of us, but a lot of us have. And that hurts. And I don't know that blame is the right word on either part, but it feels like blaming yourself because your lettuce didn't grow right when you've got situations in your family doesn't feel reasonable either. Yeah. Okay. This might be, we might be pushing it a little bit too far in this quote, but it's opening our eyes to something that we might not want to have seen. Al, and then Wendy and Ann.
Yeah, I just wanted to challenge, we did the whole raise our hand if blaming other people worked for us.
Yeah.
How about we all raise our hand if blaming ourselves worked for us, made the relationship magically better?
All right, show of hands, how many people have found blaming yourself works? That's pretty quiet.
No.
Okay, very few people. Thank you, Al. Wendy, what say you?
So I'm just remembering our conversation that we used to have about mistakes.
Yeah.
This kind of reminds me of the same thing, which is blaming myself where I tend to go towards. But a lot of times there's just not blame. Just like, do you know you make a mistake when you do it? No, you know afterwards.
Right.
So I don't see blame being helpful.
Blame is not helpful. Ann, what do you got?
The reason we don't blame the lettuce is because we know that there are other forces involved. There's soil and the sun and the water. So we think of it as it's us and them. We never think of there are external circumstances, there are other things.
So what do we do with the blame then? Let it go. Let it go.
You have to stand outside of yourself to see the bigger picture.
That's not that easy to do. Hugh, what do you say?
I'm thinking of the trouble I have with the word blame as well. There's times when we need to find the cause of that which is wrong, and sometimes the cause of that which is not life-giving lies outside of us, and sometimes it lies inside of us.
Okay.
So I think of I kind of don't even like the word blame because of the negative connotations. But when I think of finding the cause of something, then that moves me from a place of judgment, i.e. blame, to a place of compassion. Compassion as in understanding in an open heart kind of way. That's a different spirit of approaching something that needs healing or restoration in a non-judgmental kind of way. Anyway, those are some things that come to my mind.
I like it. So blame, compassion. Compassion is never wrong. Let me say that again. Compassion is never wrong. Blame might or might not be, but compassion is never wrong. Michael, what do you say, bud? You got to unmute yourself, please.
Gotcha. Yeah. Blame separates us, and understanding brings us together.
Amen. Say that again, would you?
Blame separates us, so it makes us and them. With space, take it off. It obviously put physical distance between us and them, or the us and the problem, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But understanding brings us together. Makes us see that we're always together.
Understanding, compassion, forgiveness. Yeah, good. Yeah, Ricky, Shmuley. Let's go with Shmuley. Go for it, buddy.
Thank you. One thing that happens to me is that I would try to be nice to others, but then self-loathing. I mean, I wasn't compassionate to myself. And I remember a conversation that we had that you ended up saying, telling me you're okay, and then the other time said you don't think that you're okay. But anyways, one thing that I learned is that when I have those feelings, because they come and go, is that I just sit down and take a look at them and say, oh, there you go again. And then I just let it go and try to treat myself with compassion. When I do that, I find myself being even more compassionate to others.
And if I can take what you just said, Shmuley, and bring it back to what Michael just said, was that the blame separates us from ourselves. And the compassion, the understanding, that brings us together, that makes us more wholehearted. Oh my goodness, we got so much. Nikki, what do you say?
One of the things that comes up for me when you talk about the lettuce is nurturing. And sometimes you have to know when it's time not to continue nurturing, or when you need to just go for it. With my lettuce, I grew from seeds. I started way too early, but it was March. And I've been growing them, and they're like really this big. Finally, I went, okay, enough. Warming up. I'm putting them outside. I will water them, and let's see what happens. And guess what? They're all already this big. Sometimes you have to try and nurture something, but you also have to know when to let go of that nurturing.
And to go back, thank you, Nikki. And to go back, the lettuce is inanimate. I think that's why we obviously know we can't. Well, it is slightly animate, but but it doesn't have the same volition. And it's when we try to make the jump to our family members and our friends and ourselves that we think, well, they should have known better. I should have known better. As opposed to thinking, well, maybe I didn't water that plant well. Why did Annie get upset at me? Well, maybe it was her, but maybe I hadn't given her enough compliments over the day. Speaking of which, Annie's taking the day off and she's sleeping in. It has nothing to do with me being mean to her last night. Not that now I'm just putting my foot down my throat. All right, let's drop that. Well played. I'm going to take I want to move us along because I have so much that I want us to do, and I keep this.
Can I say one last thing? Just one quick thing?
Apparently. Go for it.
Can I say one last thing?
Do it.
Very quick. It's just a question that I wrote down before the class started. And that is, what makes these sayings, not just this one, all the sayings, deal with, relevant to a religious life?
And we will be getting back to Michael's question in just a moment. That's where we're going. That's what we're getting towards. Bob, I apologize. I know you had your hand up, but I'm gonna move us along for a moment. I want us to take, it's been our little tradition for a bit, just to take a minute to reflect on this thing called life, on the people who have passed, those who we know, those who it's an anniversary of their death, those who we don't know, and to take a moment to consider all the wonderful things in this world, all the things that we take for granted, and to just take one solid, good quality minute. The clock above my head here, there it is. Let's start at 20 seconds and just take a minute.
Keep breathing.
I want to quickly look at something. This is something that I learned when I was getting my master's in education. Don't worry if you don't understand everything that I'm about to read, but just see what you get. There are torque gubus of moshos, including lapsies, ting-tangs, and fushos. If a player gruntles a musho off the tanzo, the lippy does not count. If both players gruntle mushus, lippies are awarded to both. But if a zepho doesn't flang, but only if a zepho doesn't flang. If the zepho flangs, lippies are gruntled to the player with the smaller mushu. Okay, so now let's just start with the questions that we have here. Everybody who can answer it. How many gubus of mushus are there? There are torque Goobos and Moshos. Great and fantastic. What happens if a player gruntles a Mosho off the Tanzel?
The lippy just count.
The lippy doesn't count. I don't want to hear from all the same people. I want to hear from different people on this third one. Who gruntles a lippy if the Zepho flanks?
What the fuck?
Smaller Mushu.
The person with the smaller Mushu. Now, the point in this is you can answer a lot of questions without understanding a goddamn thing that you're talking about.
How many Goobos of Mushus are there?
I bring that to us because sometimes we can be talking about things and have no idea what we're talking about. And I wanted to do a special shout out to Michael, because Michael asks questions when he doesn't understand. And you remember that thing that you all heard in school, if you have a question, chances are someone else has a question? This is live. And one of the advantages of this being live is if you don't understand, you can say, hey, wait a minute, because there's a great chance that I didn't explain it well and that you need a little bit extra help or I need to explain it better. So to please keep that in mind. So thank you. Thank you for playing along with that. I have a few announcements. Anyone who's here for the third time, for whom is this the third time at the service? Special prizes for third-time visitors? Because I don't want to embarrass first-time visitors. Okay, never mind. I thought that would be interesting. That's not going to happen. Something else to remember. Some people are just joining us, and some people have been here for 56 services before today. And people are all at different levels and at different speeds. So I want to keep us moving along, but I also want to not leave people too far behind. That also being said, attendance is not required, not even my own. You don't need to be here. Some of you are very dear and send me an email saying, Rabbi, I won't be able to be at services. I'm so sorry. Fantastic. Like, I'm glad to get your email, but you don't have to be here. And there are going to be weeks I'm looking up in August, we might go on a family trip, and I might not be here, but I'll put somebody in charge. And when I put somebody in charge, I've been thinking about this, it's much like when I had a classroom. I would always say to the kids, how you treat the substitute is a reflection on how you treat me. So let's be good there. We have an announcer already. I have two questions. One, I was thinking, now I just need like an honest feeling from the group here. I was thinking about offering, that's a weird word for what I'm about to say, but I was thinking about offering an exam of like something that would have here. What are the 5 to 6 stages? What are the 5 to 6 elements of a religious life? And I could put on these are all the topics that will be on the exam. And the reason I would put it in the exam it's just not the right word, but it's really just a sense of, do you know this stuff? And do you want to test yourself if you know this stuff? And would it be beneficial to you? The same way that for any class, if you cram something in and you learn it, you know it then. Would that be something that anyone would be interested in doing if there were a little like religion outside the box test? Okay, those people, thank you very much for the show of hands. And no, you don't have to do it. And give me a total, Rabbi, I have had enough. I don't need any more tests in my life. Thank you very kindly.
I'm interested only if you send the answer sheet with.
I will send the answer sheet afterwards.
No.
You want the answers ahead of that?
No.
Okay, so that
open book.
No, we can do that. And one of the things, and I have to thank Anne and Maria and Kim, because they're going through all of the old services and figuring out, when did we talk about SML WPP? And when did we talk about different things that we've talked about? When did we talk about the tissue and not taking other people? When did we talk about taking a complaint as a commitment? And they're figuring out where in the videos we talked about each of those things, so that it would be quite an undertaking, but I'm willing to make a huge study guide of here are all the things, here's where you can find it, and then maybe put people in groups. Say it again, Michael?
You can sell it.
On Etsy.
Okay, fantastic. Now not only am I giving a test, but the answer sheet's going to cost you $5.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Well, this is cooperative, so that's fantastic. We'll see how that goes. Poetry room is not happening today, unless you who grunts the loudest and complains the most is the person who would like to run the poetry room today. Because Tom's not here, and Tom put somebody in charge of it, and she's sleeping upstairs.
Well, I can run the poetry room.
We are going to be having a poetry room. Sherry will be running that. Thank you, Sherry, for doing that.
Take the ring to Mordor.
Thank you for doing. Also, I could use if anyone would like to volunteer to help with the going back through the videos. You'll see an opportunity to do that later. And I also need to tell you guys something. And this is ick. Remember, I had a meeting scheduled with a literary agent.
Mm-hmm.
She had to cancel.
And then it got delayed.
She sent me an email that she had to drop all of her new folks. So I was slightly crushed, and then I started calling all my besties, and I started putting it on them so they could carry some of the weight. So right now I'm without literary agent again. If anybody happens to know a literary agent who deals with progressive religious issues, boy, do I have some good stuff for them. So I wanted to share that with you. I'm a bit heartbroken there. Okay.
It's very disappointing.
It is really disappointing. I agree.
Not surprising.
But
not surprising.
Not surprising, because the field you're developing.
I was surprised.
Well, it's not just that I've been hearing from several writer friends that, there was this big lull, and now all the publishers are going, "Ooh, we've got to get all this stuff out there." So they're kind of like rats in a wheel right now.
Yeah.
Right, because of the pandemic.
A lot of disorganization happening.
Well, rats indeed. So,
Give me your heart a hug, Rabbi.
I'll take a big group hug. Thank you guys for the support. You know what? I'm actually let me stop being an asshole and let me actually look at the screen, and I'm going to take in all the love from all you people. Thank you. And our friend Emily taught me this. If you don't remember it. When you get a compliment, and thank you for the hearts. To take a swallow, just to take it in. So thank you. That's appreciated. Here's okay. Exam time. Now I did tell you that I told you about this. I need to see everyone's hands for a moment. Can I see your hands? Hands up. Hands facing you. Close your fists.
No.
Pinky thumb, pinky thumb, pinky thumb, pinky thumb. Who's got it?
Pinky.
Okay, folks, stop. All right, time for me to lower the boon a little bit.
No, it's
I had asked people. I had given this little exercise to do where you put your pinky thumb out, pinky thumb, and I said this is just going to take practice. This is not anything anyone needs to do, but it's going to take practice. And I want next week. I know this is dumb. This has nothing to do with your spiritual life, but it has everything to do with your spiritual life. I want you to learn what learning feels like on something that's completely unimportant. And that's this. I want you to learn what does it take to develop a new habit. Because when you're doing this, you're practicing and you're learning to hear whatever voices it is inside your head that are saying, schmuck, you should have practiced more. Or whatever voices, so that when it comes to something more important, like not blaming yourself, I'll put it this way. Emmett, every time we go for a drive, he goes, it's always faster on the way back.
Yeah.
It's always faster on the way back. Why? Because you know what to expect. It's always faster the second time. because you know where you're going. It's easier to learn when you know what all the stumbling blocks to your learning are. So I want you to practice this. And next week when I say, all right, who's going to be able to be spotlit and do pinky thumb, I want you to feel what it feels like to be under that pressure and to watch yourself go down a stage of learning. If you'd like a different example of it, I was talking with somebody recently. We had a great conversation. I said, no, I'm going to drop that part out. Never mind. This is you need to be willing to take a risk. And we had one of our younger friends last week said, you can't get to a number 5, being able to do it perfectly, unless you're willing to do it at a level 1 first. You can't get to a 5 without a 1. Right. And if you're not willing to work at it and suck at this at first, how are you going to get better at change when it has to do with something big? If you can't accept the small things, how are you going to accept the large thing? This is a quote from Shantideva. He said, I'll train myself with things that don't matter so I can get better at the things that do. Practice this. Y'all get it? I've blabbered enough on that. Hannah, you have a comment or question?
I'm wondering if anyone practiced the shoe thing.
The what thing? The shoe.
The shoe. Where you have to put your foot in the shoe. You don't usually put it in first.
Did anyone try that? We have a few people who did. Fantastic. I would send you a sticker, but doing it should be its own reward. If you need a sticker.
I put my shoes on normally very differently than everybody else. And so my kids laugh at me because I put on one sock and one shoe. And then the other sock and the other shoe. So what I tried to do this week is put it on like everybody else, where you put your socks on and then your shoes on.
And how did it go, Diane?
It doesn't really make a difference to me. I'm usually a very, very flexible person, and it was like, I just noticed it was a little bit different.
Were there times where you forgot to do it? I could imagine.
I did forget to do it.
Right? And now look at that. Look at that. Did you get mad at yourself for forgetting to have done it?
No, I wasn't mad at myself, but what I was excited about was that my daughter was proud that I put it on like a normal person.
That's nice. Again, this is an analog for how we learn kindness. This is an analog for how we learn patience. And if we kick our own butts afterwards, Rags and Bob.
I'm proposing that those of us who may have a reason for not being able to do the way you do it.
That's fantastic.
Have an alternative, because the arthritis in my hand makes it very painful.
Don't do it
the way you do.
Don't do it.
I discovered that if I put my hands on my thighs, this is your suggestion. If anybody else has a problem, put my hands on my thighs. I can do pinky thumb just fine. Nobody else needs to be in it. You just have to take a word.
We will trust you that you are perfect at it.
Yeah.
Very good. Bob, what do you say, buddy?
I think that there's another aspect to that too. I think a person has to want to learn how to do something.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
And if you want to know how to fix a washing machine, I can do a lot to help you with that. But I have no desire to learn how to do pinky thumb.
That's great. You don't have to. Nobody has to. And for saying that, nobody has to change anything in their spiritual life either. But I have a suspicion that you wouldn't be showing up here on Saturday morning unless you knew that it was something. There was something you wanted to get towards, and to use whatever tools we can to get us towards that. Of course, this is nothing you need to do. It's great. Wow. I have
announcements.
I know I'm not up to announcements yet. I'm on my very detailed outline, so give me 1 second. How you learn one thing is how you learn everything. Learn how you learn, and then learning is easier. That's what I wrote down. In the clubhouse last week, we shared, a bunch of people on the Religion Outside the Box online clubhouse shared with each other what their TWIP of the week was, TWIP. For those of us who remember, TWIP stood for This Week I'll Practice. So this week I'll practice, and a bunch of people had some wonderful practices that they wanted to do that they shared in the clubhouse this week. And the clubhouse this week also shared, we talked about spiritual religious fitness. Spiritual religious fitness. And we said that people who are more spiritual religiously fit are better able to do some things. So people who are better, who have more spiritual religious fitness have more, and if you have one of the answers from what we talked about in the clubhouse to bring it here or otherwise, but give me some. What are some of the things that people who have strong spiritual religious lives are able to do? Give me a few. Stay silent when they need to. That's great. I love that one. Perfect. What do you got?
Compassion.
People with spiritual religious lives have more compassion. Thank you, Emily. Give me another one.
Okay. Staying silent. Oh.
Sherry?
Staying silent when you need to. I think is the real one.
Give me another one.
I think
joyful. Joyful. I love that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Okay.
Finding more peace and joy in things.
Peace. Oh, I like peace. How about peace? That's a good one. Oh, these are all off the board. There we are. Okay, sorry about that. What else? People with better spiritual lives are better able to
be funny.
They're able to be funny.
Laugh at themselves. Yes.
I'm going to add in the better able to, am I on the screen now? Better able to adapt. One of the other ones I saw on the list were people are better able to accept. Forgive. They're better able to forgive.
Balance. And
Great. Understanding. Yeah. Jeffrey, what do you have?
Nurture your spiritual lettuce.
All right. I'm just going to go with nurture.
Stop being so philosophical, Jeffrey.
All right. Good answers, everyone. And we're going to go back and use a tool that we haven't looked at for a while. It's this matrix of change from Eli Goldratt. And some of you already remember this well, and some of you don't. And I want to try something different. For those of you who feel like you want to go for an extra challenge, I'm going to go back to the beginning on the matrix of change with regard to a spiritual life. If you would like, there's a breakout room open right now, which is called the No Host Room. And you're welcome to go to the breakout room, to the No Host Room, and take 5 minutes in the No Host Room and see if you can come back after 5 minutes and tell me, with regard to complaining, I'd like that people who want to go off on their own to tell me, what are the mermaids, and if you don't understand what these words are, stick with me, what are the mermaids and what are the robbers? So if you would like to go into the No Host Room, call it the AP room, whatever, if you're nerd and you want to go that way. Otherwise, we're all going to do together, and we're going to go back towards the basics and start over again looking at this. So that's going to be in the No Host Room, and we're going to try to do this in 5 minutes, and I will see you back here. It's going to go like this. So let me start this whole game again. Eli Goldratt, he was an Israeli physicist who became a management consultant, because I think that's, if you do things well in life, you become a management consultant. It's a measure of success. He said this. He said, for everything we want to do, I'm going to try this again until I get it right. He said, for everything we do, there's change and positive. And all of these things that we just said go in the change for the positive.
Is the seat taken?
If we change for the positive, if we have a greater spiritual life, we have all of these things that we just talked about. And Goldratt said then there's also the negatives. If we don't change, we have all these problems. Maria, can you, there's somebody whose mic's hot and I have too many things going on. I want to thank Maria for jumping in today, like a serious, big thanks to Maria for jumping in. Alex isn't able to be here today, and Maria is playing the role today of both Joe and of Alex. So thank you, Maria, for jumping in with such great work today.
You're welcome.
So, you're welcome. Thank you. So here's, if we change, we get the benefit. And that one, Goldratt referred to as a pot of gold. That there's these great things that happen for us. If we change, we get a pot of gold. And he called the bottom right quadrant, he called this the monster. That if we don't change, there's this terrible toothy monster. Those are the teeth, those are the eyes, and there's the tail. If we don't change, we have this horrible monster. If we do change, we get a pot of gold. And what Goldratt is famous for is adding in the other two parts, which are this quadrant and this quadrant. And he referred to this one as the mermaid. And I'll explain what that is in a second. He said, this quadrant is a mermaid and this quadrant is the robber. And it goes like this. In our current reality, no change, current reality, sure we have problems, but we also have a friend who's a mermaid. And if we got the pot of gold, now you have to just go with, I'm sure most of you already knew that mermaids are allergic to gold. Did you know that? Yeah, most of you knew that. That's great. That if we get the pot of gold, we're going to lose our friend the mermaid. And that there's an advantage to not changing. Because there's this mermaid who we're friends with. And then Goldratt said, there's another part of this equation, which is if we change, if we get the pot of gold that we always wanted, there's a robber who's...
Okay, I paused it to try and catch up because it's like behind. Wait.
Threatening us. We didn't have the threat of the robber when we were down here in not change. We didn't have a threat of a robber. Sure, we had a monster. But we didn't have a robber. You only have a robber once you have the gold. Here's our gold. Our spiritual religious life, we will be more nurturing, more accepting, funnier, more forgiving, quieter, more peaceful, compassionate, more understanding, more adaptable, and more joyful. And I want us to take a moment, and we're not going to look at what all the problems of not having a spiritual life are. I want us to take a moment and think, if we become all these things that we're talking about here, what are some of the things that we might lose? We might lose something if we become this spiritual person that we dream about being, that we get that pot of gold and we are this spiritual, adaptable, all these goodness things. There is some current reality that we have to lose. I'll give one example. If I become this person, I am going to have to lose some of my anger. Now, why is anger a mermaid? Because anger feels really good. It's really cathartic to and yell at someone. It feels great. It's not sexy. It's not like you're not going to win any awards for it, but it feels really good to get angry. And if we become more spiritual, we might have to give up some of our anger. Okay, that having been said, let's see if we can figure out some of the other parts. What other things that we would lose that we currently have in our current reality? What are some things that we would lose in our current reality? And what are some things? What are some? Yeah, go ahead. I heard an answer. And I'm sorry.
Security.
We might lose security.
Blame.
We might lose our ability to blame. We're just talking about how blame is such, right? We might not be able to blame anymore.
Blame
And we
is
might,
the smarter
give me them again.
Blame is the smarter
We might have to give up fantasy. We might have to give up being a martyr, I heard someone say.
This sense of me is the center of everything.
Oh my God. Who wants to give that up? If we are more spiritual, we might have to give up some ego and some, it's all about me. What are some other things?
Of control.
Do y'all get that one? We might have to give up our sense of control, even if it is an illusion. Yeah, these things are great. I sure would like all these, but is it worth it? Am I really willing to give up being a martyr, being able to blame, being able to be filled with anger, this illusion of control? Worse than that, there are these things. Now that I've become more adaptable, joyful, understanding, compassionate, quiet, peaceful, forgiving, funny, accepting, and nurturing, I'm going to have new problems that I've never had before. What's a new problem that we've never had before? Now that these might or might not come to pass, the same way the robber might or might not rob us, but now we have to worry about it. I have a new worry. Risk. I have a new worry of risk. I might lose something. I might backslide.
Okay. Take advantage of us.
Somebody might take advantage of us. We didn't have that problem when we were bastards. But we might have this problem of being taken advantage of. Give me other ones.
Being open to people's pain.
Oh, I love that one, Rags. And first I heard doubt. We might now have a doubt that we never had before. Down here we had certainty. Now we're going to be filled with some doubt, which is hard to do. And Rags, you were saying, say yours again, please, please, please.
Being open to other people's pain.
If we become more spiritual, we might experience more pain. I think it's really, really important for us to look at these things so that we know what it is we're getting into. If you are to become more compassionate, you're going to cry more. Your heart's going to be broken more. You're not going to be able to go past the people on the street that you used to go past without your heart breaking.
I'm not sure how this all fits in with your work there, Brian, but I'm thinking too about the way any growth change affects our community and affects the relationship we have with people. I think that's an important element that's external, but it also has a lot of internal connections, and we're going to lose relationships potentially by growing. We're going to gain new relationships. I don't know. I'm thinking about how that changes our sense of community.
Absolutely. We could lose our friends. It's like moving. No one wants to move. Who wants to lose their friends? Okay. Boy, oh boy. I gotta move us to go, Diane.
No, it's okay. I was going to say, just not losing your friends because they won't change, or losing relationships because they won't change.
Yeah. It's loss either way. My goodness gracious. I'm going to burn through the announcements. Jeffrey, I owe you. Next week, you're on announcements. I apologize. But I got so much going on. The breakout rooms are about...
on your refrigerator.
I didn't hear. Sorry.
Put this on your refrigerator, this picture you drew.
I will send it to all of you. How's that?
I would love it.
Okay. There's the attendee form and something I put into the chat. So if you take a look in the chat, I put in the Saturday service attendee form. And if you would like to make a donation to help this work happen, please do. The announcements very quickly. Most of them can be found on the attendees form. Then I did make sure to come to the clubhouse. I talked about the learning helpers already. Oh, nerds. Hi, nerds. If anyone really likes spreadsheets and analysis, I have a nerds only need. We have some spreadsheets about the stats of the Saturday service, and I sure could use some help figuring out from nerdy people. So if you put on the Saturday service attendee form, there's a button to click so that I know you're interested. Maria's hosting the main room in Donuts. Deep Dive will be with Kip. You're running? With Kip. The poetry room is with Sherry. God bless you, Sherry. Thank you for doing that. So please stick around. And that's going to be the fastest I've ever done the announcements. Good for me. All right. What are you taking with you today? What are you taking with you that you're going to take with you for the next week? Here's our chance for our TWIP. This week, I will practice. This week, you're going to practice or you're going to contemplate and think about. I'd love to hear from 2-3 people. What are you taking with you this week? What are you taking with you? You're taking the importance, I'm going to translate it the way I want to, the importance of practicing. That the practice of anything is your practice of everything. The way you learn anything is the way you learn everything. And if in laboratory conditions you can learn something and fight with yourself about learning it, you're going to be doing the exact same process about learning patience or any other goodness. Thank you, Rob. Something else?
Trust your questions.
Say it again, Michael.
Trust your questions.
Trust your questions. Yeah.
Don't blame the lettuce.
We're going to remember this week that the blame should be, we should first look where? We should first look at ourselves before and we should have a curious stance when it comes to blame and think, is this proper or am I blaming lettuce? Thank you for putting it so succinctly, Jordan, so I could expound upon it. What else are you going to take? What else did you take from today? I took something. I wrote it down because I so liked it when Michael said it, and I don't know what I did with it. It was about that compassion brings us together. I wrote it down because I wanted to remember it somewhere here. That compassion brings us together and that blame separates us, if even from ourselves. That compassion unites. I love that idea. And I'm going to try to think about that this week of every time that I'm feeling separate. And could I apply some compassion? Okay, give me another one because I have a story that I will tell you. Okay, I'm going to just tell you the story because I'm totally excited about it. Guru is walking in India followed by some disciples. And they walk past 2 people shouting at each other really loud. And the Guru says to the disciples after they pass, why were they shouting if they're physically so close? And the disciples can't answer, and finally one of them says, Guru, you're the Guru, why don't you tell us? We don't know the answer. And the Guru says, the reason they are shouting is they are trying to make up for in volume for the distance between their hearts.
Yeah, good. Very good.
Thank you, Michael.
They couldn't hear well.
If anyone else would like to do auditory feedback, I appreciate it. That we try to make up for in volume the distance of our hearts. And maybe this week you think about every time that you get louder, think, where is my heart? And could I connect my heart to that other person?
Very nice.
Thank you. What else are you taking? What else you
should go to bar mitzvahs more often.
Give me a minute. Anything else we're taking? All right, that's great. People are still in the deep dive room. No host room. Can we move them back? Hannah and Kip, are you both back? Oh, you're both back. So what did you come up with? I forgot to check in. What did you come up with? What are the mermaids? What are the mermaids and what are the mermaids of complaining? And what's the robber of complaining? Did you guys come to something, or I don't know how that small group worked. It was a great idea.
We did come up with stuff, and I just erased all my notes. So
that's great. That's great.
Yeah, Aviva or Hannah, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
So I know one of the things that Aviva brought up was if you give up complaining, there's a concern that you won't move on social justice issues and you won't actually pay attention to things and try to parse that line between doing things that are really important and just bitching.
Okay. If you
that you won't have a space if you are part of a group that is feeling the oppression, that you won't have a space that you can go and express the pain and disappointment that you
that you get to express that you're going to give up. You're going to have to give up expressing to a
go and
if you.
Yeah, I'm here.
So I know one of the things that Aviva brought up was if you give up complaining, there's a concern that you won't move on social justice issues and you won't actually pay attention to things and try to parse that line between doing things that are really important and just bitching.
Okay. If you
that you won't have a space if you are part of a group that is feeling the oppression, that you won't have a space that you can go and express the pain and disappointment that you
that you get to express that you're going to give up. You're going to have to give up expressing to a community what's going on. It's interesting.
And you might look superior to people that you used to be friends with, and they might not like that.
That some people might think that, what's wrong with this guy? What's wrong with this gal? They don't complain. Okay. Folks, this is, I think if this whole Saturday service were to be edited, this part we just did would be towards the middle, and we would have ended on the note that came before this one. But timing is as it is, and, not every symphony is going to be played perfectly. I'm going to, hold on. I'm going to save the chat so I have it, yay. And I'm going to ask and try to help. Maria is going to take over at this point. She's running Donut Hour. If you know how to move yourself into the poetry room, to please do. If you want to move yourself into the no host room, please do. If you want to go to deep dive, please do. But before you do that, I'd love if everybody would look at the camera and let's do a nice wave and say goodbye to all of our friends on Facebook or anyone who's watching this afterwards.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye, gang. Thank you. Okay. Hey, it's me. We are going to find my meditation slide.
Okay, thank you for listening with me. The reason that the audio and the video are out of sync is I'm playing the audio on my phone, because if I play the audio on the computer and I have the studio open in another tab, you won't hear the audio. But if I don't have the studio on the computer, you won't see anything. So I synced it up as best that I could. Okay. Because if I play the audio on the computer, I can hear it, but you won't hear it. All right, thanks. Have a good evening.